Hi, I'm Lou Gallagher. This show is nothing if not about science.
And we want to find out, can money really buy happiness?
Next on Men Are So Smart. Well, they say money can't buy happiness. You've heard that. But science begs to differ. An international research team has demonstrated that you really can make yourself happier by paying other people to do your time-consuming chores.
Doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor. The new study suggests if you feel pressed for time, your life satisfaction can be improved by trading money for minutes that you can use as you wish. The researchers was a new professor at the Harvard Business School, began with survey data from nearly 4,500 people in the United States.
Okay, that's legit.
Canada, Denmark, and the Netherlands.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
From the Netherlands. That's what really
we actually have listeners in the Netherlands.
We did, yes. So the survey takers were asked whether they paid other people to do unenjoyable daily tasks in order to increase their free time.
Check this out. 28% of the time, the answer was yes. Duh.
Yeah.
You know, this makes me think about that saying. I know a guy.
Yeah.
You got to know a guy.
Everybody knows one guy at least.
So in 28%, the answer was yes. These folks spend an average of $147 per month to buy themselves extra time. What they lost in currency, they made up for in happiness. Wellens and her colleagues found that the people who traded money for time were more satisfied with life than their counterparts who didn't. They also were less likely to say they felt time stress, a condition that was linked with lower levels of life satisfaction.
And just in case their original question was too narrow, researchers conducted a second survey.
Okay, tell me more.
And they asked 1,800 just Americans this time
Great.
whether they spent money to buy themselves more free time. This time, after the survey, answers yes. So
half.
50% said yes. These folks spent between $80 and $99 per month on average so that others would handle chores like cooking, shopping, and household maintenance.
As before, the people who bought themselves time were more satisfied with life than those who didn't. And as before, the people who didn't employ this strategy were generally less satisfied with life because their lack of free time was stressing them out. These findings held up even after the researchers took into account the amount of money survey takers spent on groceries, a variable used as a proxy for discretionary income.
Well, I know that there's certain chores around my house I don't enjoy. I'm not a big yard guy, but you know what? My wife and I went out this weekend. I got the weed eater out and we cleaned some stuff up. We moved some shredded bark around. And it really makes a difference. I don't know, maybe it was just doing it with my wife that made it more, palatable. But yeah, there are certain jobs like changing your oil. I used to do it all the time.
Right.
When was the last time you changed your own oil? Or do you still?
I do.
Do you?
About 6 months ago, I'm due.
Yeah, I do it on my Corvette just because very few of the local shops have a lift that can accommodate my Corvette.
Oh, now that's interesting.
So I have some ramps that I can drive it up on that I do change the oil on my Corvette, but nothing else. It's just not worth it. I can get a $20 oil change. I can barely buy the oil and filter for $20.
You know, I understand and I agree. If you know me, you know I don't go to stores. But I will actually go into Walmart because I can go in the back way through the garden.
Yes.
Less people.
Yes.
And then I can kind of sneak into the automotive.
Yep.
Right, and get in there and I buy myself my oil and my filter right there. I know what I'm going for. I've already looked it up. And I save tons of money.
Yep.
My car is not really that difficult. With a floor jack, boom, bam, done. Thank you, ma'am. Just like that. Now, I might add this. And as a guy with your OCD, it's no secret. I'm not.
It's well documented.
Okay, so you're actually going to let some kid with an impact gun put your oil drain pan plug back in with an air gun?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the last time I had my oil changed once on my Corvette someplace other than me. And it was a place that had a grease pit, so they didn't have to raise it on a lift. and you could hear there was one guy down below.
Oh yeah, right.
And there's one guy up above,
Up
and the
here.
guy up above has a clipboard with a checklist,
Mm-hmm.
and he says, "Remove oil drain plug." And then the guy down below goes, "There's like a 20-second wait. Oil drain plug removed." And they go right straight down the list. So it was, and then at the very end, the guy says, "Torque the oil drain plug to 14 foot-pounds," or whatever the setting may be. And you can hear the click, click, drain plug torque to 14 foot-pounds. That is, for somebody with OCD, that kind of puts your heart at ease a little bit. But yeah, when you take it to a Walmart and you are expecting a high school kid to do the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
you are tempting fate.
Just be careful on that.
Yeah.
I like to be the one that spins the oil filter on. You know, there's that old rule where you spin it to where it feels a little snug, and then you just give it a little bit more.
Yep.
And you know, not that this is necessarily a show about changing your oil, but I just want to make a point of saying that oil pan wrench oil filter wrench that you use to take the filter off, whatever it might be, you do not, under any circumstances, ever use that to put it on.
Oh, wow. Big mistake.
Why? Tell them why.
Because as the car heats up and cools down, it actually gets a little bit more snug. And so if you put it on with a wrench, you're going to be chiseling that filter off. You're going to have to cut the filter and then get up on the inside and chisel it out of there. It's not coming off.
And there's one other thing that I would add to that is when you look at the bottom of an oil filter, what you see is a rubber gasket. Now that gasket is not cemented on there.
Oh.
It's not built that way. It's built to just kind of cozy up with a portion where it spins onto a spline. It's just going to cozy up to that metal. And if you try twisting that thing on there, that thing will get out of place.
Yeah.
And you'll start leaking oil like a sieve.
Yeah. And that's why they also recommend just a little bit of new oil on that gasket to let it slide into place. But there are other jobs that I don't like to do. I've got 2 big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
My backyard, just about every other day, you've got to go out there and clean up that mess. I'd love for somebody to come in here. I don't know what they would charge.
Pooper scoopers, you mean?
Pooper scooper. If I could get away with it for about $25 a week, and if they came out, say 3 times during the week, I'd be all over that.
Huh.
All over that.
I wonder what the analytics of a business like that look like. How much per turd? Is it by weight? How do you break down the man hours? I have a lot of questions about that business.
Yeah, because...
Maybe you should contact me.
Yeah.
You know,
because you know what? If it is by weight, and I were in charge of that business,
yeah.
I'd pick up a few small rocks and throw them in there also.
No one ever knows.
Yeah. Who's going to know? Who's going to dig through what you've picked up?
And then on the opposite end of that, as the consumer, you might have to bill it back to each dog.
True enough.
By the way,
Yeah.
This dog is 3 times the size of that one. This one's costing me $17, and this one's costing me $3.
I'm afraid we're going to have to let you go.
Again, this is all science, friends. This is all science we bring you.
Science!
We're in the name of science. And so this story today has been about, can money buy you happiness? And why and how do you do that? Well, you find people to do stuff that takes up your time and that you don't like to do, and you pay them.
Yeah.
And we found that roughly it's about $150 a month to have that done.
Yeah.
Or it just doesn't get done.
Yeah.
So, okay, but thank you for watching today. We really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the show, please give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Give it a like. We'd appreciate
Subscribe.
that.
Subscribe to the show.
It's not hard to do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything. It's
No.
absolutely free.
And these are all gems.
And you know what? When we see that we get a new subscriber, this is the face that we make.
And then I do a little happy dance.
Do you really?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
It's...
I can imagine
My
that.
arms never move. But
They
my
never
feet,
move. It's kind
my
of like
feet are going-
Russian-esque.
Yeah, my feet are going
Yeah.
crazy down here.
Yeah. So, and really, we don't make this up.
No.
We really do this.
It's also proven by science.
Right below here, you can research more about the show, more about the guys, our social media, the guys in the third person, us guys, use guys. That's how we say it in Jersey. Use guys.
These guys.
Use guys can get some more information right here at the bottom of the screen. You'll see all the things on social media. You'll see the things like Facebook and Twitter. How am I doing?
Does that end with an A?
Twitter.
Twitter or an EH?
TWITTER.
Oh,
Twitter.
Twitter.
See?
Yeah.
That's how I used to talk when I came from New Jersey. So we're glad you guys has been watching. Appreciate it. I'm Lou Gallagher.
I'm Corvette Ronnie.
And this has been another episode of Man is So Smart. Thanks. See you.
Bye.